Matt Bartsch. Matt Bartsch is currently the fastest. Matt Bartsch there, currently fastest. Greg Smith is down there in 6th place. Hollink has scored. It's still Bartsch. It's still Bartsch. And it's still Bartsch, and it still is Bartsch. So Matt Bartsch from Bradley Sheppard and Yoan Medart 3rd. My goodness me, well, what can you say? The Polish driver, Matt Bartsch, former Polish indoor champion, is on pole position from Bradley Sheppard. The reigning O-Plate champion from South Coast Karting, the Brkc O-Plate champion, Bradley Sheppard. And then Yoan Medart, 3rd in the championship last year. Down near the tail, there's Greg Smith. He's been up giving some of the commentary earlier, yesterday more than anything. He was talking on one of the races with me. Greg Smith, of course, racing for autism there, and there's a badge on his helmet that explains all that. Greg Smith there, he's lining up in 9th place. So, up at the front, there you can see Matt Bartsch. He's looking around and seeing Bradley Sheppard. He's probably also looking back down the order to see who's what. Now, the 3rd one is Yoan Medart, and there's something going on there. Yoan Medart is asking questions, and they were looking towards the engine department of that. Anybody else would think they had an absolute flyer if they were 3rd place, and Bradley Sheppard asking the question of Yoan Medart, what's up? Yoan Medart's got his gloves off, and now he's putting his gloves back on, so obviously for some reason Yoan Medart taking his gloves off there. Maybe there was a question over him, he might be swapping karts, but it looks like he's sticking with what he's got. The drivers do have the option to change kart if they feel they could do a better job in something different, but of course that would necessitate a start from the back of the field. Now here they come. Matt Bartsch brings them round to take the start. It's the final heat race for Matt Bartsch, and he's on the gas already. Across the line they go. It's Bartsch from Sheppard, and there is Yoan Medart into the snail section. It's a, well, as safe as you can want lead at this stage from Matt Bartsch from Sheppard and Yoan Medart. And it's Tim Andrew in 4th. Tim Andrew, an incredible 4th place there is Tim Andrew. He's racing in the Masters for the Masters trophy more than overall. I mean, he's scoring overall, but that's not the one he's going to win. He's aiming to get points off people for the Masters, and Tim Andrew, well known for some wonderful photos that he takes at these events, is in an incredible 4th place. This is quite a step up here. We've got Matt Bartsch in the lead from Sheppard and Medart, but what about Tim Andrew in 4th? Spanners. Really? Tim Andrew's 4th. Wow. He's got Suzuki behind him, and that's going to be a problem, and Hollink behind him, that's another problem. Phil Pryor's another problem, but it's still Tim Andrew in 4th place, heading towards the backstretch. Here comes Matt Bartsch, the leader.
Let's suppose Sheppard doing well there, separating Bartsch and Medart.
Absolutely. Medart, we saw have some questions about his kart, but he's all right in 3rd place. And then the incredible Tim Andrew is still 4th, but Suzuki's starting to make moves on Tim Andrew in 4th. Suzuki might have a go down into the snail. Yes, he does, and takes the place.
And Andrew just a little bit out of shape on the entry. It is possible to keep your footing too much around the top of the snail.
It's possible and very tempting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and in fact, Andrew's losing places hand over fist now. It seems like Suzuki has kind of opened the gate on Andrew. He's trying to block out and stop this freight train situation.
That was a rough block by Tim, to be honest.
Yes, it was.
I can't deny that.
However, it was what you might call a last heat block, and in fact, he's going to be almost put to last. He's been pushed down to 9th in a single lap as Tim Andrew. So, well, a golden moment running in 4th, and there is Osborne and Smith we were looking at there, and there's Tim Andrew. He was running 4th, but now he's 9th. He's been passed by everyone except Matt West.
Is he the photo guy?
Yes, he is, or one of them, yeah.
Right, well, that is karma, taking photos of me without giving me time to jut my double chins out.
Well, there you go. That serves him right, really, doesn't it? Yeah, so Matt Bartsch is in the lead after 3 laps, and it's a pretty healthy lead, given we're only 4 laps in now, 1.1 seconds over Bradley Sheppard. Yoan Medart is now working on the back of Sheppard. He's really working on the South Coast karting driver, and we're looking at Medart now with the red part of his helmet. So here's Sheppard, and there's Medart, and there is Suzuki. So Sheppard leads Medart in this picture here. This is the battle for 2nd place, coming down the backstretch. Bartsch is going to turn in. There's Sheppard, and there's Medart. Sheppard getting pretty racy with Medart and very defensive.
Medart's car always seems more solid and settled than everybody around him. He always looks in complete control.
Absolutely, Medart very much in control of everything he does. In fact, the only time we've seen him out of control is when he nearly skittled Ruben Boutens last year in the champagne spraying after the end of it, because he was the one who fell over
he did
and
not stand
nearly
up
took
at
out
all.
the winner. So there's Sheppard. Sheppard down the backstretch, followed by Medart. And Matt Bartsch, 5 laps in, has got a 1.7 second lead over these guys. South Coast Carter, Bradley Sheppard. He's going to be tight on points though for the semi-final, I think. So although he's been doing well, he needs points from this. Medart wants them too though.
Would Bartsch have woken up this morning with a point to prove?
Yes, probably quite a few points, because of course, remember, he won a race but got busted out of it because of a late pit stop yesterday. So Bartsch needs absolute maximum points from every single race. It still might not be enough, but the best he can do is win races, and that's exactly what he's doing.
And he also had quite a few collisions as well, I believe, in round 3. 5th place when he could have won as well.
Yeah, heavily involved in the action all weekend. Heavily involved has been Matt Bartsch. This time, though, this is about the cleanest it's been for him. The clearest lead, the easiest ride, you could say. It's not easy in terms of his competition, but what he's done to that competition now, he's put them all 2.7 seconds back and not even 10 laps in.
I've got a question, because I can't remember from last year. So in the semi-finals, do they qualify for the grid spot? So they do.
Qualifying every time.
So somebody who is down on points, say, that needs to win to make the final, they still have the chance to qualify first on the grid for their semi-final.
Yeah, exactly that, Spanners. In fact, we saw it working well last year for Sam Spinell, who you were just talking to earlier on. Sam Spinell, I remember describing last year as the scrapiest of scrapers, getting into the semi-final and then unbelievably the final itself. He was going into the last heat race, he was well out of the points necessary for making the semi-final. Somehow managed to make it work in the last heat race and near the end of the heat race as well. And then from the semi-final actually got enough points by winning to scrape himself just into the final. So an impressive performance there. Meantime on track though, it's livening up for second place, because there's Sheppard, there's Medart, but look at Zajewski, Adrian Zajewski, a last-minute entrance on Friday, and he's now in contest for second place in this heat race. Zajewski there with the blue helmet, and look at him go. He's working all over the back of Yoan Medart, and he could make a pass for position here. Spanners, look at him go there. It's Medart having to get really defensive. That's Zajewski with the blue helmet behind Medart. That's where the action is. Bartsch.
Now, if you're Sheppard, you're not looking ahead at Bartsch at all, are you? You're just looking at these two. You've got no real danger of holding these up and having Pryor and Hollink come back at you, and there is a pit stop. Number 19 comes into the pits, so that is Smith.
And that's the Racing for Autism driver, Greg Smith. He's dropped himself to last, but he is the first stopper, so you can expect that, and he will be looking to get some fast laps now to move himself up the order as those in front of him cycle through the pit stops. Meantime, though, the action continues in second place. I think Brad Sheppard has already forgotten about Bartsch in the lead and is going to try and get second, but he's got Yoan Medart and Adrian Zajewski close behind him, threatening to take it away. They are going to be wanting to put Sheppard right down to fourth here.
Zajewski does look in a hurry. He doesn't look like he wants to run the clock down. And he's dispatched West quickly. He's showing his nose to Medart, and Medart himself he hasn't really made a lunge, has he, at Sheppard?
No, Medart really is, it has to be said, Sheppard is no longer under attack. Medart is there, yes, but it's more about keeping back Zajewski, because Zajewski on the backstretch has been repeatedly pulling alongside Medart, albeit to the outside. So they're heading out to the snail, heading to that backstretch. Spanners?
Well, I was just wondering if this would be a good time for Medart to get out into the pits and just allow Zajewski and Sheppard to battle it out for a little while, and they'd be very likely to take time off each other.
Quite possibly, and if not, it might be one for Zajewski, because I think he probably feels, having caught Medart, and this is unbelievable to say, the third place overall last year, having caught Medart, he may well be losing time. Someone's got to drive through penalties. Vincent Osborne, oh, bad luck for Vincent Osborne, making his debut at international level this weekend. He is the Red Lodge Young Stars champion, the reigning one, and he has been given a penalty. It was an invalid stop, so a bit of a bungled pit stop there by Vincent Osborne, and they're going to make him come in and do it all again. Okay, so crossing the line, it's Sheppard in second place. He's got a bit of breathing space to Medart, as much as you can hope for, because Medart has definitely got his hands full with Adrian Zajewski there. Big question, of course, fans. We're thinking about people maybe pit stopping. Zajewski, would you call him in?
All right, we're playing Virtual Kart Manager, my favourite game. Okay, for Zajewski right now, he's got nothing to lose because Bartsch is out of the equation. So now it's just a case of which one of these two does he leapfrog. The question would be, is Sheppard holding up Medart? If yes, then let's bring Zajewski in as Zajewski's manager.
Now, just looking at the times though, that would be an option. However, it will put him just behind Matt West, Tim Andrew. So that now we look at the times, that could be a factor going into that.
That's true.
Theoretically, if those weren't in contention there, yeah, it would be an inspired choice, because I think he's now been held up by Medart. It's strange to say, though, that is.
Yes. Well, I think, I mean, Medart's had to turn his attention from Sheppard in front to Zajewski behind him and having to go very defensive down that back straight. But it's not like he's losing touch with Sheppard. Every time he gets a bit of breathing space and focuses on the orange helmet in front, that gap comes down again.
Absolutely, and it's a shining example of the standard to which the likes of international karters such as Yoan Medart operate. He is actually getting very defensive against Zajewski, and his full attention is on Zajewski, but not to the point where he's losing contact with Sheppard. And whoa, he nearly runs in the back of him.
That was,
but I think that was trying to prevent Zajewski coming past as much as any kind of lunge.
It was a very late break point, and then he just clung on and hung on to it. He's normally caught back up with Sheppard by this point in the snail, and this time there's a gap that's remained. But I think through that snail section he can almost catch Sheppard at will, and it seems to be here in this back straight now that he's missing out, and he's having to turn his attention backwards.
Absolutely, we've got Matt Bartsch leading with the fastest lap of the race, and he's been allowed to pull away now. I think a 6-second gap. But it is Bradley Sheppard, the South Coast karting fella. On the pits, it's Medart. Medart pits. Fast into the pits. Look at this stop. We're looking for the green.
Oh no, his engine stalled.
He's starting his own kart. Great job there by Medart. Rapid reaction though. Amazingly quick there. Somehow it cut out on him. It stalled. Maybe it stalled on the at the start. Remember how he was out of the kart earlier on?
Oh yes.
Maybe it stalled when they came up to take the start. So Medart having to start his own kart. Very quick reactions there, and to be honest with you, being able to lean back there and pull that starter and get it to go in one movement, very good effort by the Dutchman.
He's been covered off by Sheppard, and I don't know if Sheppard realises the problems that Medart had, but he's going to come comfortably ahead now, and that is Medart's chance of benefiting from the pit stop completely gone, and now I would estimate there's about a 4-second gap.
West in the pits. That's Matt West there. Matt West, 75th on 2 occasions that he was here last year and the year before. There is Medart though, he's the only one who's actually literally stopped in the pits. Everyone else is making a pit stop, but Medart was quite literally stopped in the pits. Now, we believe it's cost him 4 seconds, which is pretty incredible when he had to realise it had stopped, restart and move. So amazing reactions by the Belgian there, Medart. It's cost him in terms of position, and let's have a think about where he is. He's behind Sheppard, who has stopped.
He's also going to lose that second place to Zajewski as well.
Yeah, and it's going to get cagey on points, because Medart is going to get proper bundled down the order there, I think. We'll see where he actually ends up in the end. Matt Bartsch, there he is. There's the race leader. He's working through karts.
Working through some back markers. They're not making it too much hard work for him. Pretty good with the blue flags here, and a big thumbs up to Bartsch as he goes down the back straight.
Absolutely, and that was towards West and Osborne, I believe. They clearly got out of his way and didn't hinder the leader, and he's waving probably a very relieved thank you to them. I think that's a genuine, heartfelt thanks. Matt Bartsch needs all the points he can get after an earlier problem when he actually got busted from the lead, or from a victory, because of not stopping in time.
It's not an ideal start to the tournament, was it? And I'm still going back to just the quick reactions of Medart there, because had that happened to me, I'd have just thrown my hands in the air, curled up in a ball, and cried.
Absolutely, he has certainly not given up as Medart, and he, very quick reactions. He is, one of the best in the business, and unlucky for Medart, but what a great response to it, a massive reaction, and he's straight back into the game. We are still dealing with Medart, sorry, not Medart, Matt Bartsch being fastest, and Matt Bartsch on that last lap set a new record for this race, 32.001.
We've got Tim Andrew in the pits, very unlucky, starting from 4th place, ending up 9th after being bundled around the snail on the first lap. And now he's there fighting with Smith. I think he's going to get ahead and be able to just hold that. Smith making a move down the inside, and Smith's made a lot of contact with Tim Andrew there and has made the move stick.
Absolutely. Greg Smith, the Racing for Autism driver, has really bundled Tim Andrew out of the way. Having had a great start, probably the biggest feature of this race for Tim Andrew has been getting bundled. Everyone who's passed him has actually done it fairly physically, haven't they? I mean, no one's actually just shot by, they've sort of shoved him. But here comes Matt Bartsch. Now, Matt Bartsch is closing up on the Smith and Tim Andrew battle, both of which have been in the pit. Bartsch, will this be the time when he pits himself out of the problem? 6.5 minutes to go. He's only got 8-second lead over Szydłowski, so he may have had the idea of running to a point where he can pit and come out in the lead, but that may now change. Matt Bartsch may feel that it's better to pit out of these guys' way. We'll see what happens here. Szydłowski is only 8.1 seconds behind. 14 is Phil Pryor. And here's Bartsch. Is Bartsch coming in? No. Waving thank you to Tim Andrew there. So Tim Andrew, and now Bartsch is going to be looking at Greg Smith, the Racing for Autism driver, and Bartsch around the exit of the snail area. He's gone down the inside of Smith. Smith moves aside, and yeah, another wave of thanks from Bartsch. Bartsch with that big Euro lean, as it's known, and it's breaking the grip of the inside rear wheel to give him a bit more rotation in the kart.
It's a technique I would employ if I was physically fitter.
Well, no questioning Matt Bartsch's physical fitness, and he's certainly fit enough to lead this race. Obviously, he can maintain track, staying on the track now. He doesn't need to pit. He's passed these two guys on merit. There is Matt Bartsch going round. He continues, and he's looking to try and make a gap on Szydłowski so that he can come out of the pits without any kind of conflict whatsoever.
Hollink pits from 3rd place on the track, and I think he's going to come out just behind Medart. So Medart's gone through, and so he's going to come out in a net 5th.
Yeah, and that's more good news for Bartsch, who continues. In fact, Matt Bartsch set a new fastest lap, 31.9. Incredibly fast there for Matt Bartsch, as well, we're looking now at a strong result by Matt Bartsch in 1st place, of course. Adrian Szydłowski is now 8.7 seconds behind. I'm not sure that Bartsch is going to be able to go into the pits and come out in the lead in the time he's got left. He, of all people, is going to be aware that he does not want to leave it so late that he gets busted for missing the pit stop.
Would he?
Well, there's a lot of things that wouldn't happen twice, but at the BRKC, such as the pressure, it sometimes does. There's quite a few people you can ask for that one, and Matt Bartsch is hopefully not going to want him into the pits then. Szydłowski.
Well, there's that problem gone for Bartsch. Now he can come in and pit back out into the lead, and that looks like a very clean stop. Yeah. 2nd place work.
Really cutting it fine there, and it was an excellent stop. 10 seconds there for Szydłowski. He's not really in contention with Bartsch. The best he can hope for is 2nd. Now, where is he referenced Sheppard? He's come out 2 seconds ahead of Sheppard. That's crucial for Szydłowski. He's got the job done, and it looks like 2nd there. There's Szydłowski with the blue helmet, Adrian Szydłowski.
It's almost a shame for Sheppard, because he was pitting to cover Medart, who he was in that early battle with. If he had been told that Medart was having that problem and had lost 4 seconds, he could have continued holding up Szydłowski, but in the end, Szydłowski's got ahead on track.
Epic battle down the backstretch there. It was side by side all the way between Tim Andrew and Greg Smith. So a battle end. Tim Andrew has come out ahead. He has passed Greg Smith for position there. So now Andrew moving forwards. Having moved backwards, he's now moving forwards. Is Tim Andrew there?
Smith isn't happy with Andrew's defence, I don't think.
He's shaking his head. It looked fairly clean, though, to be fair.
Andrew's defence.
By all standards, but we'll see what happens here. There is Tim Andrew, there's Greg Smith, so we can see it now on screen. But here comes Matt Bartsch, the leader, is it? Turning in. And yes, it was. He's putting another driver a lap down. There's Bartsch on screen through the final corner. He has not stopped. He's got less than 3 minutes now.
Oh my! This is like. Can everybody in the gallery just yell to Matt Bartsch to actually pit, and just make sure we all just shout as one in one voice?
Well, if there's a great big get in now, he might well hear it. And so we'll see what happens, but that battle royal continues with seeing on screen there Tim Andrew, but here comes Matt Bartsch. Now, is Bartsch going to come in this time? There's not a lot of time left to do this. They don't bring the flag out at exactly 0 seconds. It's when they think the race is due to end. When Bartsch is in, the race leader's in. Very clean.
He heard us. Oh, look, he's standing up out of the car in what we now call the Bartsch manoeuvre.
Very conservative stop there, really, wasn't it?
He's perched on the steering wheel.
Yeah, he's come out behind. It looks like Vincent Osborne. Yeah, as you say, perched on the steering wheel there, Spanners. Now, it's not going to be a problem that he's behind these two. In fact, they're probably going to get blue flagged out of the way.
He's got 8 seconds to play with now.
Yeah, he's got a huge amount of time. 8.8 seconds back to second, which is Stachowski. Well, they're fighting away. They are, and well, actually moving out the way. I think that was Vincent Osborne. Matt West is the next one, and 1 minute 40 seconds to go. So Matt Bartsch is looking good for the win here. Just further back for information, Tim Andrew is pulling away from Greg Smith, so Tim Andrew has got the job done. Now, he was 4th, got bundled almost to last, and has now pulled back up to 7th place. So Tim Andrew looking pretty good in terms of recovery there. Probably won't make that to 4th again, but certainly up to 7th and maybe a little bit higher. He's got some time. We'll see if he can make it. So here comes Bartsch leader. 2 back markers, which are West and Osborne behind him. So there's Bartsch behind him, West and Osborne, but there's Matt Bartsch around the final turn. West and Osborne following him through across the start line there, as there's Bartsch into the fabled snail section. Keeping it tight, keeping it fast. That's the tightest part of the snail section there with Matt Bartsch. And Stachowski is actually a little bit closer to the leader. He was faster on that previous lap, but it's still 8.3 seconds. It's not going to happen. Less than a minute to go. In fact, they'll probably be bringing the flag out any second for Bartsch. They're getting ready, and here comes Matt Bartsch around the final turns. Yeah, it's going to be a win this time around. Matt Bartsch is looking good. And Matt Bartsch, the former Polish champion, takes the win there. And that's exactly what he needed. He's fighting a serious rearguard action. Here comes Adrian Stachowski, second in the Polish Championships previously. There he is, taking second. That's what he needed. Bradley Sheppard in 3rd. And where is Yoan Medart? Yoan Medart, gosh, considering he stalled in the pits, that's quite a recovery drive. Marcel Hollink in 5th place there. And we're looking now for Phil Pryor. Phil Pryor comes through into 6th, and it's Tim Andrew versus Greg Smith. Greg Smith's close up on him, but it's going to be Tim Andrew across the line over Greg Smith, the Racing for Autism driver. And then, of course, Matt West and Vincent Osborne, they're coming in the pits. They're already a lap down as Matt Bartsch. There he is, the number 13 former Polish champion. Bartsch takes the win there in a very impressive performance. Pretty straightforward win on paper, but he will have worked for that one. Matt Bartsch, the winner there from Krakow in Poland. Expert international driver there, Matt Bartsch, for the indoor. There's Stachowski, 2nd place with that light blue helmet. We're going to go down to Spanners in the pits.
Hi, thanks for joining me in the pits. I'm joined here by one of the most popular members of BRKC. It's Matty Bartsch. Mate, great race win. Is it fair to say you've had an adventurous weekend?
Yeah, this weekend it's very strange for me. Very big mistake on the first race. So finally we'll see what happened, but I'm not a chance to make to the semi-finals. So finally it's sweet end, win. It's very good qualification and great weekend for me on the 2 races, but 2 races impossible. It's to make something better. And finally, I want greetings for the all people who are watching us, who are watching me. Thank you for support. Thank you for watching all things, and cross fingers for me. Thank you for this weekend.
Very cool. You showed your class in that last race and how much pace you've got. Sorry if you don't go any further. Matty Bartsch, a very popular member of this championship. Congratulations on that race win again. Back up to you, James.
Superb interview there, Spanners, with Matt Bartsch. Matt Bartsch showing he clearly, on the international scene, racing all the various national championships and the world championships, he is one of the more popular